Really? Oh, they've started already? Motherfucker. Here we go. Trust. Visit. Oh, hang on. You are on Twitch. Volume down. Volume? There. We'll give people time to come in. Praise be. Scrubby is here. Rejoice, comrades. Resident Davy B. I thought that was you. Rejoice, comrades. Football enthusiast. Davy B. Good evening, comrades. Hi, Scrubby. Look. Pete Wishart, who is a guitarist for his sins. We will give people time to come in. Happening. Let us bring up the dashboard. Come on. Yeah, I know I'm live. I hit the button. Bleeding obvious here. I have figured out a way to actually bring what happens from Friday onwards onto stream. I do highlights. I should be able to get away with that. Fingers crossed. Maybe. We will find out though. YouTube. Oh, hang on. Is there an ad? Ad starts in 2 minutes, everyone. Nerd. Rejoice, comrades. It's the Morton. The cricket. Oh God, poor Nicola. I'm a better Morton. I heard noises that didn't scare the shit. Fucking hell. Thank you for 17 months, Jim. Rejoice, your friendly neighbourhood satanic absurdist has arrived. Fantastic. Who's that? Michael Askew. Hello, Michael. I will get onto that in a minute, Scribby. Thank you for the link. YouTube. YouTube. I can't even make out who that is. Is that you, MC, darling? Hello, MC. Fucking hell, Helena's still going. Sweet. Oh, that might be tempting. Oh, that's getting put in the street safety playlist. So the Kleins ones get put in. Stream videos. All the hellscape crap gets put in watch later. There we go. Yes, go to channel. Go to my channel. Thank you. Five people already? Fucking hell. Hello, gets put in watch later. There we go. My god, is that what I sound like? Yeah. Boom. There we go. Oh, that's what I wanted to check. It is you, MC darling. Rejoice, comrades, we have MZ too. Hello, my dear. I paid £20. Oh, wrong way. That side. £20 for an entire year. Because, rejoice. I quite like the National. They had really good coverage over the Holyrood election. Oh, thank you. I'm sure I will. Paying my wages. Am I paying? Oh, fuck, I keep on forgetting that, Morton. I am paying. I don't know how far 20 quid would get you, though. I'm assuming a good 100,000 people took advantage of that 20 quid for an entire year, which I'm sure would pay for your wage. I would assume. So 10 would be 200. 100 would be 1,000. Yeah, thinking of people probably paid that 20 quid and probably paid for your wage. Good. You can chill here, don't worry. It shouldn't be too heavy lifting tonight. Do not worry. We will not be covering yesterday's award-winning Kerbalism because David Lammy and Zia Youssef can go and do one. I hate the pair of them. I can't remember. Oh God, Claire Coutinho. Because they're still the official opposition, the Tories get invited onto programmes. Don't know why. We'll give it until 10 minutes in before I start reading this. Oh, if they post green things, I prioritise their work. They'll be doing a lot, I assume, because I love the shadow cabinet, like the one for the Greens up here. It's amazing. One of my list MSPs and a comrade, Iris Duane, tertiary education. Yay! On you go, Iris, my dear. Going to be good. Oh. Refreshment. Oh shit, I was meant to do that before I went live. Fuck it. Just pretend that the Hydra redeem is 2,500 or 3,000 points now, because reasons I will not explain, but you can maybe guess at. Big Jerry! Hello, Big Jerry. Rejoice chat. Jerry's in. Right, before we start reading this, I'll explain who this guy is. This, in the lovely red tie, is Pete Wishart. He is the MP for my hometown of Perth. Pete is awesome. I have drank with Pete. It is fucking mental. One of his friends is a councillor up in Perth, and I'm not entirely sure if he'll know my stepdad, but his friend knows my stepdad very well because they drink together up in Perth. My stepdad's friend is rather large. I think the polite way of saying it is rotund or Rubenesque. Big guy. Big guy. He's a really good councillor. He's SNP as well. Alright, SNP veteran warns against Westminster probe into Murrow scandal. So all of them, I'm not sure what we've said actually. Shit, I'm a shit party member, fuck. But all the other main ones like Reform, Labour, the totally irrelevant Tories and the Lib Dems basically want a probe to happen into the SNP. And the chat the other night, when they were last up here, was that? I think that might have been debate night a couple of weeks ago. Members of the audience were saying that she lived with the man and she didn't know anything. Gear. A minute. Bollocks. Other. For those of you who are not of Scottish persuasion, I just used the word, it is stoating it, which means it's bucketing down, like literally dumping off the ground. Christ, I can hear that wind. Fucking hell. Yeah. Okay, right. A veteran SNP MP has urged a Westminster committee not to open an inquiry into the Peter Murrell embezzlement scandal. In a post on Twitter, the only acceptable dead naming, call it Twitter because that's what the fuck it is. I am indeed in Glasgow. Oh, yeah, I'm in Glasgow. Said that as a former chair of the Scottish Affairs Committee, funny that, a Scottish MP being on that committee, he had written to current chair Patricia Gibson, warning that such a move would exceed its remit and could risk shredding its credibility. Oh, God. Hype them! Ray Joyce comrades, hype them in chat. It comes as calls have been made by opposition parties in Westminster and Holyrood, both now, for a parliamentary inquiry into how the former SNP chief exec and estranged husband of Nicola Sturgeon was able to embezzle more than 400,000 from the party. Because all the finances had to get signed off by him. How many times do we have to explain this to you? Green. Trust me, green. I may have been raised Protestant, but yeah, I'm green. Don't get I'm here in the north of Glasgow, which is majority Catholic. It is mostly Celtic fans up here. Don't get me wrong, there's still Rangers fans, but only a few of them. Like 10% or something up here in the north of Glasgow. It's mostly Celtic fans. Well, it is inquiry. Inquiry is like a question, and an inquiry is something that happens. Oh my god! Ah, yeah. I was a little bit dicey there, Niall. Did Helena raid me? Welcome in, raiders. You have reached a mad Scottish Marxist. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Divinia, my dear. Super Hubby's uncle's a Hearts fan. I hope he's feeling okay. All right. New Ryan, okay. I've got, well, technically my sister's got in-laws in Northern Ireland, or the north of Ireland. Right. Wishart's central contention is that an inquiry into the financial arrangements and internal governance of one of Scotland's political parties lies beyond any reasonable interpretation of the committee's purpose. All right. There's you, Davinia. There's you, Davinia. You feeling okay, sweetie? I hope you had something tasty to eat. Oh, for fuck's sake. Looks like we'll be going on to energy policy next. The purpose of the Scottish Affairs Committee is to scrutinise the work of the Scotland Office and to examine the policies, administration and expenditure of the UK government as they affect Scotland, he said in his letter. Peter's correct. So that's the Oversight Committee, essentially, for the Douglas Alexander, even not Douglas Murray, wrong Douglas. So this committee is to see how the Scottish office works and if it's working correctly or not. If it's not working correctly, it exists. Oh, sweetie. If you need any help, you know where you can find me. Feel free to DM me if you want. I've done most of the time when I've done that, completely fucking drunk, so I've passed out. Not exactly sleep. Mind you, in saying that, I do actually feel refreshed for doing it. Don't drink so much that you pass out, everyone. It's not good. An inquiry into the financial arrangements and internal governance of one of Scotland's political parties would therefore fall beyond any reasonable interpretation of the committee's remit. I understand completely where you're coming from, darling. You know, like I've been prescribed Zolpidem in the past. They wanted to try that one first before they suggested anything else to me, so I managed to get away. They try not to, so the practice I'm in, try not to prescribe Zolpidem as much now. It damages your actual circadian rhythm. It's basically like a sledgehammer to your circadian rhythm. Not good. So what they suggest is CBT and stuff to help. There is natural remedies that apparently work. I know it's on. Turn it off then.
I'm just about to top up. I told you to top up gas and electricity. You didn't. I'm
Yeah.
just about to go and do it now.
You said 1 o'clock to me.
I said 12:30.
Oh, I thought you said 1. I was going to get it in like 10 minutes.
I'm doing it now. So
You're doing
don't
it
do
now?
it twice.
Okay, that's fine.
Don't do
If
it
you hadn't
twice.
if you hadn't got up, I would have done it at 1 o'clock anyway.
I need to do it now.
Is it 35 you're putting in?
And the electricity, yes.
Fibre gas?
Yes.
I was going to get it at 1. I thought you said 1 to me. Sorry.
So don't do it twice.
I know, I won't now.
Or you will not be getting out of that chair for another month.
He was asking me, I thought he said 1 a.m. to me, so we've got our universal credit payment that just cleared, well, probably cleared about half an hour ago. I thought he said 1 a.m. to me to top up our prepayment meters. So £35 is going in the electric and a £5 in the gas. So he's going to get it now instead of me. He actually said, 12, not 1. Oops, mea culpa. But there we go. The mighty streaming rebel. Hello, Bryce. No. We're prepayment. We get double scalped. So we pay more for our gas and electric up here, even though we're 100% renewably generated electricity. Plus, with it linked to fossil fuel generation, it's higher up here. Plus, people like me, who are on prepayment meters, get scalped again. The amount I pay for my utilities is fucked. Why do you think I keep on screaming, delink it from the price of fossil fuels, you bastards? Ed Miliband, can you fucking hear me? We're not exactly in fuel poverty, but we're still paying more. Like, there's enough, because my benefit is wholly up here now, adult disability payment, which is the Scottish version of PRIP. They treat me like a human. It is fantastic. We're doing okay, Bryce. But yeah, there's people, there are disabled people who live on their own who are prepayment meters who are getting absolutely fucked. It sucks. Like, myself and my younger sister are both prepayment meters. She lives up in Perth. She asked me, how do you cope? Him through there. I'll read this one again. So yeah, I will say again, it fucking sucks. Ah, I will do that. Thank you so much. Are you in the Discord? Post a link in the Discord for me, or DM it to me. I have refreshed myself so it's no longer the cover of Reformer Revolution by Red Rosa. It's a picture of the mug. A rather older picture, actually. It's like 3 or 4 years old. The photo Dav chose from a profile pic from Avatar. An inquiry into the financial arrangements and internal governance of one of Scotland's political parties would therefore fall beyond any reasonable interpretation of the committee's remit. Correct. Pursuing such an inquiry risks undermining the reputation for balanced and inclusive scrutiny that the committee has worked hard to establish. As a former chair, I've written to the Scottish Affairs Committee cautioning them not to impose an inquiry on the Murrell prosecution. Select committees work best when they work consensually in cross-party inquiry, and this is beyond remit. It took one side in the IndyRef and lost credibility as a result. Well said, Mr. Wishart. Yeah, I didn't need to read the letter. Yeah. Thank you, Bryce. The Virgin MP also pointed back to the fallout from the 2014 independence referendum when he said the committee was widely perceived to have adopted a partisan stance. Widely perceived they fucking did. Including Burnham. He was campaigning for Better Together. Fuck off, Andy. Resulting in Scottish ministers and senior civic figures declining to engage. Rebuilding trust and confidence took a number of years and required a sustained commitment to impartiality. Consensus building and constructive engagement, Wishart said. Embarking upon an inquiry into matters that properly belong to the jurisdiction of the Scottish Parliament, and doing so without its consent, risks reopening old divisions and damaging relationships that have been carefully rebuilt. He then added that it is highly likely the Scottish Government and the SNP would decline to participate and thus significantly diminishing the value of any conclusions reached. Wishart concluded, I therefore hope the committee will think very carefully before pursuing a course of action that could once again raise questions about its impartiality. I don't think it's impartial. And potentially damage its relationship with key stakeholders across Scotland. The Scottish Affairs Committee is said to have a debate on Monday to decide whether to undertake an inquiry. Do not do it. Do not do it. Where is that link? Oh God, this is going to be... Oh. Oh. SNP blast Westminster's great renewables robbery over high costs. Good smattering of ages there. So there's some young. I think they're a bit young to vote. Definitely too young to vote. The SNP have said Westminster is presiding over a great renewables robbery. As it can be revealed, Scottish renewables projects will be hit with a £1 billion bill to use the UK grid. We get charged for putting our fully renewably generated electricity onto the national grid. It sucks. Meanwhile, projects in England and Wales are paid to connect. Oh, he's turned it off. Data obtained under Freedom of Information by industry body the National Energy System Operator and shared with the Scotsman shows that forecast generation charges for 2030-31 for projects in Scotland will hit £960 million, while developments in England and Wales are forecast to receive a net payment of £436 million that same year. Boo. Transmission charges are currently based on the distance between where the electricity is produced and where it is used. Apparently, we're far away from the rest of the United Kingdom. And I will repeat, fully renewably generated electricity. Make it make sense, chat. This is fucking ridiculous. Meaning that renewable projects like on and offshore wind farms in Scotland built miles from any residents have to pay more to connect their energy to the grid. The charges were designed to encourage generators to build close to consumers, but critics, including the SNP, say it ultimately favours projects closer to large cities in the south of England. It does, we know this. Hitting out at Revelations, SNP candidate for Aberdeen South, Richard Thompson, Swinney, Jack Middleton, hitting out at the Revelations, SNP candidate for Aberdeen South, this is the one that used to be held by he of the Rolling R's, who is now in Holyrood. Rejoice, we have Stephen Flynn up here now. Fucking yeah. Said that Westminster is destroying renewables jobs. Correct. And called for the transmission charging regime to end. I fully agree. These crippling transmission charges are uniquely applied to Scottish projects, while equivalent sites in England are subsidised. It is a great renewables robbery, and it will hit Scottish firms with a £1 billion bombshell. Correct. Scotland's wind, waters and workforce are powering homes across these islands, but Westminster is risking the renewables revolution we stand ready to capitalise upon while destroying the oil and gas industry we have today. Eco-socialist, I just want Rosebank and Jackdaw to be left the fuck alone. Do more on and offshore and do fucking tidal. Thompson added, it's Scotland's energy and it should be in Scotland's hands. Not Westminster's, because for every day it is another day of Scotland's potential wasted. Only the SNP is on the side of our energy sector, and we will never stand by as Westminster casts workers here on the scrap heap. So let it be said very clearly, we can protect the world-class oil and gas sector we have today and build another world-class renewables industry right by its side. I will say again, please just leave Jackdaw and Rosebank alone. We didn't fucking need them. Anyway, wrong type of oil. So Jackdaw's natural gas and Rosebank's the oil. And they're mature basins anyway. Gonna cost more to extract the shit than we would get. We won't get energy security. I don't care what they fucking say. The UK Department for Energy Security and Net Zero spokesman said, we are reversing decades of underinvestment and delivering the biggest upgrade to the grid as we work to halve the time it takes to build new transmission infrastructure by reforming the planning system. Stop charging us and you can have all the fucking electricity you need. Nestle has made clear that driving for clean energy saves money by fundamentally reducing our exposure to fossil fuel markets. Correct. Its report shows we can save 36 billion annually if we hit our 2050 goals, compared with a scenario in which we slow down. Yes. We're looking at transmission charges as a part of our reformed national pricing review and will update in due course. Let's see what else I've got in the Discord. Oh, Raptor went live. There's live. Ooh, perfect. Here we go. Reversing a cycle of decline. What does the future hold for Glasgow's buses? Public ownership? At a bus shelter on Glasgow's Hope Street, a crowd is slowly gathering on a rainy Tuesday morning while waiting for a 7 or 7A. So they come up north. What the? Didn't come up as a frame drop. That's weird. No. While waiting for a 7 or 7A service to turn up. They're usually rather regular. Among them is Robert Hurd, with a bag of shopping at his feet and a piece of wisdom about the city's most commonly used mode of public transport. People will always moan about the buses, he says. He's not wrong. So these two are first, and First Glasgow suck. I don't care if they hear me. We have the lowest car ownership in the area I live in, and First treat us like crap. So there's the 90 or the M3. The least said about the M3, the better, and the 90 during the day is every half hour, apparently. However, massive change could be on the way with an action plan published last year by Strathclyde Partnership for Transport. SPT is basically the one that oversees all the transport here in Glasgow, favouring returning services to public ownership. Bring it. Bring it. The plan aims to tackle issues like congestion and affordability. Are you away, Niall? Thank you. Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine, and tell First Group to suck it. The plan aims to tackle issues like congestion and affordability, reversing a decline in passenger numbers. Night-night. Juggling different complaints and observations from from the public. Pressure groups and bus operators is not an easy task though, especially when you've got people like me constantly moaning about First or the bus services in general here in Glasgow. The picture we are seeing is network decline, and it has been that way for a number of years for various reasons. Says Gordon Dixon, SPT's head of bus reform. It's a big concern. Journey times and speeds are not where we want it to be, and we have a very fragmented network of buses in Scotland. There's a lack of coordination there, and affordability continues to be a challenge. I do not need to worry. It is called a national entitlement card, but most people just call it their bus pass. So I have bus pass. This is free travel in Scotland and severely reduced train fares. You still have to pay something for your train fares, but not that much. So I have free travel throughout Scotland on a bus. It is awesome. This is a viewpoint echoed by passengers who spoke to BBC Scotland News. The whole infrastructure is not great. Ain't that the truth? You end up paying a lot for a service that is really erratic, says Michelle from Bishopbriggs, up in that direction, to the north of me. My mum lives in the south side, down that way behind me, and she's forced to get taxis for hospital appointments because it can be one bus an hour that takes an hour and 20 minutes. That's for a trip that's 20 minutes by car. That is fucked. Hello, Stella Rooney. Other bus users agreed, saying city centre services are often congested. A situation escalated earlier this year when the fire on Union Street forced extra diversions. So the city centre, the centre of Glasgow, is a one-way system, and having to take that into consideration with doing these diversions down in the bottom half of the city and also the top half, because Cathedral Street subsided because of old plumbing, I think, if I remember correctly. So the main street that my uni is on, so that's Strathclyde, is all blocked off. So they're having to reroute. So the buses can't go straight up their usual route, and the bottom half of the city centre is completely fucked. It is not a good state of affairs, let's put it that way. We have a city centre where there is only a number of streets buses can go down, and you'll be quicker walking sometimes because the bus just gets jammed in traffic, says Stella Rooney of the Living Rent Glasgow Union. This lovely lass here. You add in something like the Union Street fire and it really affects services. Correct. About 75% of public transport across Scotland comes via bus. I knew it was high, I didn't actually realise it was 75%. Rooney speaks of a need to have joined-up thinking with public services, citing frustration with the cost of jumping between trains, buses and Glasgow subway. You go somewhere in Europe and it just feels so much easier getting around. Look, B-Network. So these are the buses that Burnham introduced. They're pretty yellow colour. Those buses look awesome. And the actual bus fleet for some of the services here, we need better buses. We need electric buses. In saying that, the services that I use here in the north of the city on this this road that I live on, they are both electric buses. Now we just need to get them to do better service levels, better bus timetables, essentially. Rooney is an advocate of the biggest talking point from SBT's plan that buses come back into public ownership for the first time since a fleet of orange vehicles rolled across the city's roads in the 80s. Yeah. God, we would... Oh. I'm trying to think where would be most conducive to getting trams in the city centre. Probably the bottom half. Probably. So the orange buses were corporation buses, which is the Corpy bus. Basically, that was the council buses. Technically, those buses still exist, and so does the livery, which is the colouring they chose for the corporation buses. At the moment in Glasgow, we are not getting a bus service we can have a democratic say in. We saw that when night buses were reduced a few years ago, they severely reduced, which has really affected the whole nighttime economy. Yeah. But moves to ape somewhere like Manchester, where private bus firms essentially operate on set routes, are some way away. Correct. The Transport Scotland Act 2019 granted local authorities powers to run their own bus services. Glasgow didn't do this. Edinburgh jumped right on it. Well done, Edinburgh. So the vast majority of the buses in the capital are run by the council. And the Edinburgh residents fucking love it. I want that here for Glasgow. I really do. Will I be heard though? SBT is currently going through a process of securing external support and testing franchising against other options, but that will last until 2028, so another fucking 2 years. That is mad. We know there is frustration that it seems to be taking ages. Understatement. But the 2019 powers only really came into existence last year. Okay. We received guidance from Transport Scotland on how to use them last September. It's only a few months ago, fuck. There's no lack of willingness from SBT to advance this as quickly as possible, but there's a very set process to follow. You can't just flick a switch. I wish there was. Just click your fingers and all the buses are owned by the council. Yeah. Hello, Ellie Harrison. For some campaigners, the most damning argument in favour of change is the decline in numbers. In 2007-8, nearly half of adults, 40%, in the SBT area used a local bus at least once inside a month. By 2023, this had fallen to 39%. As a result of companies cutting routes, cutting service levels, less people being able to rely on buses, and companies putting up prices. That is a veiled ticket first Glasgow, I think. Just my own theory. Says Ellie Harrison of Get Glasgow Moving Group. She believes public ownership would reduce traffic being concentrated in certain areas, so the west and the south and parts of the east, not the northeast, but the east going out of the city centre, the bottom half of the city centre. that she believes public ownership will reduce traffic being concentrated in certain areas and ensure all parts of Glasgow are catered for. We deserve it. Right now you have private operators all wanting to get into the city centre, and that creates congestion, just clogging up city streets. She is extremely frustrated at the prospect of an overhaul being several years away. I am of the same persuasion. I feel frustrated. I don't have a decent bus service here. We have had a lot of wins behind the scenes, but nothing visible on the streets yet. We want Parliament to speed up this process, as it is incredibly complicated at the moment. People are sick of waiting. And in another 5 years, services will get more expensive. Correct. Hello, Robert Hurd. There are also those not keen on radical overhaul to begin with. Gwinnett Company McGill's are the largest independent bus operator in Scotland. Are they? A spokesperson for the firm called SBT's proposal staggeringly expensive and ideologically driven. You mean it's bad for your bottom line, McGill's, don't you? Just come out and say it. Pointing to cost overruns in Manchester as one concern. They added, McGill's is a private business which was built at shareholders' expense. What SBT are in the process of doing is confiscating the right of that business to trade and putting the business up for auction to the lowest bid. Oh, fuck off. The company also said a government survey showed users in Strathclyde recorded the highest passenger satisfaction in Scotland. Not for me, yes, didn't. First Bus said a strong and clear strategy was needed to tackle issues like congestion, but passenger satisfaction remained high. Not from me, especially where first are concerned. Passengers themselves have mixed views. Robert Hurd told BBC Scotland he feels there has been improvement in recent years. Fair enough. Usually about 90% of the time they arrive on time. Not my lived experience, oddly enough. And it's more a reliable service than it used to be. No, it isn't. Not for me. Standing at one of Hope Street's many other bus stops waiting for the 61, Rose Carson is in agreement. It's a really good service for me. There's one about every 10 minutes and it's usually on time. So the 61 goes to Summerston. So it goes up Hope Street, goes past Cowcaddens and up onto Maryhill Road. So it serves the other end of the street I'm on. I suppose it depends what time you go on them, but mid-morning it's fine. I don't know if the city council being more involved in things would be good. Oh, fucking shut it. Oh, fucking hell. Go away. Alright, Wintery? Oh, for fuck's sake. Da, 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 da. Ah, shit.
First one where he didn't know Reform UK. We've covered Robert Kenyon's car crash interviews, from his first one where he didn't know Reform UK policy to the Chris Mason BBC interview where he just didn't have any answers. He stumbles, he's not articulate.
Ah, there we go. Right.
Kenyon's car crash interviews, from his first one where he didn't know Reform UK policy to the Chris Mason BBC interview where he just didn't have any answers. He stumbles, he's not articulate, and you don't have to be polished as a politician. You don't have to be the most charismatic, but I think you have to be an effective communicator. You have to be direct and have answers that people want to hear. And Robert Kenyon isn't good. He's like a deer in the headlights, a bit like Keir Starmer.
Oh,
And
fucking
for
hell.
some people in Reform, they don't care.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck. There we go. That's better. That much better. Take it away, Anthony.
Care about this. This is their guy. He's a plumber. He's sexist. They don't care. But I think for a lot,
Rejoice, comrades. Orchestran. Hello, my dear. How's it going, darling? Stay on.
people, they want someone who can answer questions, be direct, be articulate, and Robert Kenyon is none of those things. He was on Question Time last night, which frankly was a car crash interview and should be a moment for the country. This should be a 2009 moment. The BNP leader Nick Griffin got eviscerated, and this could be a cultural shift.
I am back. If I knock the camera because of it's right, I've got a little hub thing here. Like it's got different types of connected, like USB ones, HDMI at the edge, and stuff like that. And if I knock it even slightly, it cuts out. Right. If you need company for Thursday, just say. I'm assuming it's at the hospital that I think it's going to be at.
Towards more, just evidence, reality-based politics. But will it be? That's the big question. Well, let's get into some of the clips, because genuinely, Robert Kenyon was worse than I thought he was going to be. And that's saying a lot. Let's get into the clips, because truly one of the worst candidates in political history. This is from during COVID, waterboarding comments during COVID.
Chat, help. When was Griffin on Question Time? Fucking years ago, right? I can't remember. Oh, that'll be an endocrinologist, by the way, my dear. Oh dear God. This is going to be diabolical. Did anyone see the Makerfield QT on Thursday? It was fucking mental. Kevin and Helena were good. They were.
The abortion comments 2 to 3 years ago. This is not the same. So he has to be accountable for this.
Where I was given a label that I won't accept. I was brought up by a single parent, and my grandma, who was a widow, and an older sister. So I was brought up by women. I've got nothing but respect for women.
What? You were...
I don't know if you've noticed this, Robert. We all have mums. I can't be a misogynist. I have a mother. Last time I checked, we've all got mums. My niece is lucky. She has 2 mums. My sister and her wife. I had 1 mum. So we, single parent, we were raised by mum. And to a certain extent, Gran. Mum's mum. Who lived just round the corner from us for most of my life. I miss my Gran. She was awesome. She taught me how to bake and cook. She was really good. And I'm really good. She played lawn bowling. She was good at that. She used to enter competitions when she was younger. Dead for nearly 16 years now. No more grannies. So all my grandparents are gone now. My mum's dad was the first one to go. I was months old when he passed. So I was born in the March of 79. My granddad died in the May. Oddly enough, the same month that my super hubby's granddad died. He was older than my granddad. He was 79 when he died. My granddad was 68.
My mum's a woman, so I can't be sexist. What? That does not make sense. So when you said all those sexist things, because you were brought up by women, it's actually not sexist. Ah, damn it.
You know, so I think
Doesn't
something
work
that
like
said, 15 years ago, dragged up from an old rugby forum, it's
Not 15
taken out of context. And like I say, I've made mistakes.
What context makes these comments acceptable? A lot of this doesn't really work with Reform voters. They're Reform voters. They will vote for whatever Reform candidate. He can say whatever up to a certain line. Maybe there is something, maybe explicitly, he could say some, pretty abhorrent things. But even then, I think they're not too bothered to an extent. So really, you have to focus on policy and reform policy, privatise NHS, get rid of the Equalities Act, tax cuts to the wealthy. They want to undermine workers' rights. They want to make you poorer and take us into illegal wars.
Oh, God.
That's what we've got to focus on. Not necessarily the individual. But I think a lot of people will see this and go, Robert Kenyon isn't the guy.
I completely forgot about that link. We'll go back to that video later. Oops. Oh, crud. Oh, no, it's working. Go back. Ah, bollocks. Yep, I've lost the story. Fuck. Not good.
He can't articulate his reformed policy, and really can't take accountability. I think people like politicians who own their mistakes, apologise, and be, okay, let's move on. I want to help my local community, address the cost of living crisis, housing crisis. We've got real issues. But he can't even do that.
Said things years ago that I wouldn't say now, and I definitely don't believe that on that point. So I hope that addresses that issue. And it's like I say, I've got nothing but respect for women.
That woman's like, no, it doesn't address it. You've not apologised. You've actually not addressed what context was it taken out of. You are distancing yourself. You're lying. Say they were 15 years ago when they were 2 to 3 years ago. No, that's not satisfactory. No.
Can I just come on this point though? Because I actually spoke to Carol Vorderman this morning. She called me because she is really distressed that you have failed to apologise for any of these comments. So you said
about her specifically?
Her specifically, and she is watching at home tonight. And I wonder if you can look down that camera and say to Carol, you know what, I'm sorry. Can you do that?
You know what?
No, we can't.
People have probably seen what's been said, but I never actually said anything to Carol. I commented on a comment. Okay. Don't get me...
You agreed with the sentiment. You did. Don't be cowardly. Own what you said. That's the thing. These people, they say like, oh, I'm honest me. Clear talking. own what you've said. It's so cowardly. Just be like, yeah, I said something disgusting. That's not my view of women. I apologize, and I want to help women, have more rights. We want to fund women. I mean, there's no policy there. What's Reform's policy on helping women? Exactly. They don't fucking have any.
Wrong. It was a disgusting comment that somebody else had written, but I commented on the comments.
With approval.
Okay.
Pardon?
You haven't addressed it. You've deflected, you've obfuscated, you've distanced yourself, you've actually not taken responsibility. And I think as an elected representative, you should own what you say. And we need to know what you actually believe. Do you still believe these comments that you said about abortion a couple of years ago? This really matters. This stuff matters. Because a lot of Reform's talking points are taken from America. They got rid of Roe versus Wade. This really matters to women who are voting for this. So this one, honestly, almost makes me feel sorry for Robert Kenyon. And again, you don't have to be slick, charismatic to be a politician, but you have to be able to articulate reform policy and have answers. This guy is all over the place.
Yeah, great point, Michael. It's absolutely horrendous to, if anyone's seen the body cam footage, it's heartbreaking to see that. It's totally, disgraceful what's going on up and down in the country.
What do you mean by that?
With the knife crimes affecting the country, violence is never the answer. Like Michael said, the wishes of parents need to be kept, and we need to, not gather, and violence is never the answer, like we seen the other night in Southampton. But I think it just goes to show that there is a two-tier policing system in this country. I think so.
See, he's just been given talking points. And that's the problem. Like, if he's not a career politician, he should have organic answers and real answers. But he's clearly been given just lines. He's very stilted and going, okay, let's talk about two-tier policing now. Let's talk about, woke, American imported, culture war talking points. That's all they really have. And it doesn't really work now. People are getting bored of this. It really is quite boring. Like, people want real solutions.
For everyone to see. Unfortunately, the accusations of racism has been taken more serious than cries for help from a dying lad who was said he couldn't breathe, and he'd been stabbed. I mean, you look at the Green Party politics, I think it make the country a hell of a lot more dangerous with drugs on the streets and no prisons. So when when the Green candidate is
what are the Green Party suggesting?
We have got drugs on the street already. We have got drugs. There's plenty of drugs on the street. If you want drugs, you can go and get them pretty much in any city in the UK. Walk down, main street, high streets, you'll be able to get them. We need to regulate them and make sure that people are getting the help they need with either mental health help, medical help, to address the underlying issues. That's it. That's what medical experts say. You have to make an argument against that. You can't just do the scaremongering.
No prisons.
One of them did in Scotland, I think it was. It was trying to scrap the prison. It was one of the Green candidates in Scotland.
Right. Don't think in the manifesto.
I think it'd be a lot more dangerous under the Green Party.
Yeah, okay. Again, just fear-mongering. No policy, no arguments. This one's good because, again, Nigel Farage has been avoiding the media for the last month or so, and he's got asked questions to answer about 5 million. And these aren't going away, by the way.
Leader who runs your party.
Let's hear from the woman in front of you in the glasses.
Rob, what worries me is that we've heard a few times now that people say we'll build on brownfield sites. But your boss, Nigel Farage, took a £5 million payment from basically a crypto billionaire. Lots and lots of, suddenly he's a reformer, a party for cryptocurrency. How are we to trust that you and your party wouldn't sell this off to the highest bidder when you have got a leader who runs your party who will say up the IRA for £80?
Yep.
I think it's shameful.
I mean, that question should be asked every time Nigel Farage or a Reform representative is on television. He is the most bought and paid for politician out there. The fact that he's presented as anti-establishment,
No,
where Reform UK have the most amount of donations in the first quarter of this year, is insane. But But the BBC will platform reform uncritically and just share their ideology and normalize it to the point now where people are like, yeah, reform. They'll solve the housing crisis. They'll increase my wages. We don't live in reality anymore. And this really is on the BBC. I really despise the BBC for this.
Okay. I have to say, I had no idea if you said up the IRA for £80. I don't know if you do, Robert.
We should know that. You should know that. That's well known he's done that. The fact you can't even do your job.
We have video evidence, Fiona. He has literally said that on Cameo for like 80 up.
Yes, he did that.
Apparently he did. Let me just give you a chance to answer that.
Yeah, so with regards to the 5 million, that's going to Parliament, so they're going to decide on, whether there's anything wrong in it. So it's...
Okay, so you have no problem with that? Okay.
Something beyond my control, anyway.
And I hope you have a great birthday. This comes from your good friend Aidan. Now, it's a bit early in the day, so all I've got actually is coffee, but I hope you enjoy a few pints with the lads tonight. Up the rah!
So there you go, the evidence that he did in fact say it, and Fiona Bruce knows that.
What? Oh. Eyebrow shapers. So I'm shaping I'm trying my best to shape my eyebrows. A billionaire does not give you 5 million in return for fucking nothing. Yeah. Correct, darling. Yeah. So he'll be looking for return on investment. I wonder what it will be. Maybe loosening the restrictions, making it easier for crypto to be used here in the UK. Fuck right off, Christopher Harborn. And this needs fucking dealt with. There we go. Some contract, something like that, yeah. We will find out, do not worry. Looks better. Give me a minute, I'm going to get my face clean. 2 minutes. I'll be over to the right. Over there.
she's just lying because the BBC will do anything to reinforce the status quo as opposed to have a left candidate like Zach Polanski or Jeremy Corbyn. Right, we're going to end on the final clip now, which really shows you that it's really hard to do fascism today. In a liberal democracy where most people are just live and let live, you have a trans neighbour, Muslim, uncle, you go to the local shop and it's a, non-binary individual. No one cares. They want to have a life where they can afford a house, go on holiday, have money for an emergency, and very few people actually care about reform, culture war, yank talking points. This really proves it. And this should be a moment when people go, can we just have solutions? Can we have policies that will improve the conditions of the working people?
In opposition to that abilities, then
let's do it.
As a community, we want a normal person, a real person stepping in and taking charge to make sure the people of our constituency can get ahead in life the best they can. And I would rather have a community made up of diversity, of women, of LGBT people, of young people, of people with...
See, he has to nod at this because he knows this is right. He knows that really multiculturalism, people coming together, and different races, religions, ethnicities, hues, creeds, this is fine. It's the weaponization of the fact that some people do bad things and they focus on that and go, oh, this means that this group is bad, which we don't do with white people. We don't do with, men. When a man commit, oh, all men are bad. No, some men are good. I think it's wearing thin for a lot of people.
Disabilities, then someone like yourself who is sexist and has shown on more than one occasion.
Honestly, nice horse.
As a community.
But that's the thing, going back to Nick Griffin, 2009, reform aren't that far from Nick Griffin. Yes, Nick Griffin's more exposed.
27 years ago. No, 17 years ago, can I count? 17 years ago. Wow.
And I think reform are moving further to the right, which I think is going to alienate a lot of people. Farage is really the master of the dog whistle. He's indirect, he's oblique in his racism. But when you're being explicit talking about race, two-tier policing, and embracing Trumpian culture war, he's really unpopular. And I think people really do actually want genuine solutions. I even think reform voters do. They're just caught up in the culture war. They see Farage as someone who's an outsider, he's different, he's the
Ray Joyce comrades, based American, CJ in chat. Hello, darling. How are you? This is Anthony Jones. He is covering the question time from Thursday, which was the Makerfield by-election special, and it's showing the Reform candidates not that great. Of course he's not, he's in the Reform Party. You can think of them as so our version would be Thatcherite, your version would be Reagan-esque, Reaganite. So Reform are on the right of the political spectrum. Robert Kenyon, the deer caught in the headlights. You can tell they've tried to educate him. I do believe they have failed. Motherfucker. Okay, let's get me reduced down. Any bit more?
Victim of media slurs and demonization, and people go, yeah, he must be good. If he's being victimized in the same way Trump was, he must be good. But I think a lot of people really, when you look closer, are seeing actually Farage is a fraud. He's bought and paid for. He's going to destroy the NHS. He's going to get rid of your workers' rights, and actually isn't going to be able to deliver. And that's what we've got to talk to people on. What is the policy platform? What's the vision for reform? They have nothing but grievance politics, identity politics, and division. He just wants us fighting amongst each other, as opposed to looking upwards to the people who have all the money, the wealth, the influence.
Yes, yes.
And I think there's an opportunity to really engage with reform voters and go, yes, Robert Kenyon doesn't care about you. Nigel Farage doesn't care about you. And now is the time where we actually come together and oppose Reform UK. So tell me your thoughts below. Join the membership from 99p a month. And I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you, Anthony. Yes, terrifying, isn't it? I keep on saying, if that gets into number 10 and they become the government, I'm going to be in queue myself, buying a shovel and digging the trench. All by this nutter. Don't test me. But it's looking like they'll be the government. They're the government in waiting, essentially. The Tories are irrelevant. They might go down to double-digit fucking MPs, which will be hilarious. But reform. Truly fucking terrifying to me. Okay. Let's go on to some fun, shall we?
Natasha.
Debbie, the show. We know you said it with us.
We hope you said it with us.
Stop.
No. Oh, hi. We're just deciding whether or not to keep the video that we're starting.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with this one. Take 22. It's a reaction channel. You'd think it would be simple. Nope.
You would think, no. How many
wrong.
times we start over and fumble over our words, even though
And how many inappropriate jokes we make at each other, to each other.
Exactly.
Ridiculous things that we do. That reminds me, follow me on Instagram. That's a good segue.
And if you want more Natasha and Debbie show, we're on Patreon.
We are on Patreon.
Check us out.
But also, it'd be great if you guys would hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. And enough of this. It's enough of that stuff. Okay, so we've looked at some inventions lately.
We definitely have.
Yeah, we checked over on Poland.
We did.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard a lot about Scottish inventions. So not what they are per se, but that there are a lot of them.
Yeah, that Scotland has done a lot. So,
What'd you do for us, Scotland? What do we got? Well, Iron Brew. That's my favorite thing. 1901.
That's Natasha's best invention from Scotland. And she's dangerously running low. It's becoming a crime at thirst.
We just did the ration video recently, and I'm having to ration myself. I'm not kidding. I am. This is sad.
It's a serious thing.
Why can't they sell this in America? And a lot of people say that they do. They don't. Amazon does not ship to the USA. I've tried. Trust me.
And if they do ship, it's
like
outrageous.
$80. Okay, we're done talking about that.
Just insane.
Anyway,
we're going to look at surprising things that Scots invented.
made from girders. Sorry, I'm still on Iron Brew. I'm excited about this. I have no idea what it is. I love learning about inventions. I love learning about how things were invented. The invention of the invention, right? I think it's super cool, the story behind it.
It is.
And what did you guys make? So, enough talking. Let's find out together.
Little doubt that since the 1707 Treaty of Union with England, Scotland's significant achievements have more often than not been overshadowed. And the narrative often portrays Scotland as having been civilized from near barbarian.
We feel that way in Ohio. We're very overshadowed by the rest of the New York City, Los Angeles, Miami, Las Vegas, anywhere in Florida. It's like, oh, Ohio. No one cares. Whatever. We did a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, we got Cleveland.
Don't mention Cleveland. We don't talk about
Columbus.
Cleveland. We don't talk about Columbus. We're in Cincinnati. Sorry.
And the narrative often portrays Scotland as having been civilized from near barbarianism by its union with England. It's why the Romans built Hadrian's Wall, right? But nothing could be further from the truth. A country of little over 5 million people today already had a school system in the Middle Ages, and by the end of the 15th century, girls were also being taught.
That's pretty cool.
Scotland already had 3 universities at this time. With a well-educated population, it's hardly surprising then that Scotland gave birth to much of the modern world, which resulted in Scotland taking a leading role in the Enlightenment, contributing original
I did
thinking
not
in
realise that,
philosophy,
CJ.
economics,
Thank you.
literature, and innovation in science.
Okay, let's get on with it.
And while some of Scotland's great achievements are better known than others, such as the invention of the television, John Logie Baird,
Learned that one.
and the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, here are some achievements most people don't realise had their origins in Scotland too. So when you get up in the morning to reach for the milk to pour on your cereal, know
Made
that
out
it
of
was a
milk?
Scot who invented the refrigerator as far
We
back
learned
as
that.
1749.
Yeah.
So some of these are going to coincide with British inventions. That was the title of the video. No one get mad at us. That's the title of the video.
Right.
Some people get mad at
Right.
different things. But some of these are going to coincide with that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so maybe, but we'll see. But still, thank you for this invention. I
love
like
the
to have
refrigerator.
my milk cold. That would be bad
Definitely.
to not have it. Ew. Ugh.
I guess some people like warm milk, but
Who
Not my
likes
thing.
warm milk?
I know people drink it before bed. Supposedly.
That doesn't mean it's warm.
Have warm milk before you go to bed.
Oh, you like if you're sick or something. Warm milk and honey is good for the fur.
It's supposed to help you sleep better.
This is,
I don't know.
You're so ridiculous.
Hamilton-born William Cullen was a physician, chemist, and professor at the Edinburgh Medical School.
Okay.
In 1747, Cullen was awarded the first independent lectureship in chemistry and was elected president of the Faculty of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow. It was
Smart man.
whilst there that Cullen invented the basis for modern refrigeration. He had designed a small refrigerating machine in 1755,
Damn,
using a
that
pump
early?
to create a partial vacuum over a container of diethyl ether, which then boiled and absorbed heat from the surrounding air. The
It is nothing but a exothermic reaction. So the back of your fridge, your refrigerator, so the element that's making the bit inside cool is pumping out loads of fucking heat. That's why you get an energy rating on your fridge. So yeah, the back of your fridge is really fucking toasty, so it keeps the things inside cool. So that he basically done that experiment by using modern refrigeration techniques, which is basically engineering. As like us, damn few in the Rodid, as the saying goes. Basically, who's like us? Damn few and they're all dead. The Scots invented the modern world, by the way, everyone. You have to resign to that fact. Because we are nothing but self-promoters. I will remind you all. Plus modern, plus anaesthesia, Scottish invention.
experiment even created a small amount of ice. Cullen's discoveries led to the development of all types of refrigeration
that's
in
pretty
later
awesome.
years, from the household fridge at home to commercial refrigeration.
Mhm.
In the medical world,
Like
Scottish
helping.
discoveries and inventions have also benefited tens of millions of people. For example, many people know that Ayrshire-born physician and scientist Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin.
Oh, yeah.
Born on August 6, 1881 in Darvel, 9 miles east of Kilmarnock,
I didn't know he was Scottish.
Fleming went on to discover from a forgotten petri dish, in which numerous colonies of bacteria had grown and proliferated, that
It was my mum that told me that. To how many mums are happy? Oh, most of them. I don't know who actually came up with the epidural. But yeah, anaesthesia, basically Scottish. Yeah, he's from Darvel. Darvel's a small, large village or small town? Large village. It's not quite a town. Kilmarnock's a town. It's a town. Air in Ayrshire.
The bacteria in proximity to the mold colonies were dying, and this discovery led to the development of penicillin. But fewer people know that the hypodermic needles used to deliver penicillin to patients was also invented by a Scot.
I was just going to say, if you invented the needle, I don't like you. Because they scare the hell out of me. Don't talk about the tattoos. We don't talk about that. Seriously, though, really?
That's incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I said lesser known ones. That did not know that. I mean, someone had to. I was thinking that, though. I was feeling I was going to say it.
Well, yeah, invent the medicine. You
gotta administer
deliver
it.
somehow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Born in Fife in 1817, Alexander Wood's family moved to Edinburgh in 1821, and eventually Alexander enrolled at the University of Edinburgh in 1832, where he studied medicine. He graduated in 1839 and established his own private medical practice in Edinburgh's Newtown. He also began lecturing from 1840.
The Newtown is one of the oldest parts of the city, by the way. The reason it's called the Newtown is because so that there's parts of the capital which are older, which have been there for fucking centuries. So this is the Newtown, which is like the 1700s onwards. The house prices in that neck of the woods are fucking ridiculous. Most of them are like offices and shit. But don't get me wrong, there is people who live in those houses there in the Newtown. They're lovely houses, I'll give them that, but the prices of them are fucking crazy. Just like most of the house just like most of the house prices in the capital, because it's the capital. Yeah.
Good Lord, look at that place.
Wood became fascinated in finding ways to treat localized pain, and in 1853, his research led him to develop the first...
He's like, let me just invent something to cause more pain. It's like, in the comments, who else is a big baby besides me about getting a shot or blood drawn? I don't like it.
I'm fine. I've been poked and prodded for most of my life, so I've never really had an issue with needles. Like, they take blood off of me at least 3 times a year. I get pain injections into my spine every 5 years. I'm due to get the next one next summer, or around about my birthday actually, next March. Yeah. Like for a while, my younger sister was kind of scared of needles, but that was because she got brutalised by a fucking dentist when she was a little girl. Understandable when that fucking bastard basically terrified her. Don't worry, she got rescued. So me and my middle sister had the older partner of the dentist's surgery, but because she was younger, she went on to his books. But she got moved over after he didn't do enough anaesthesia when he was doing something for her teeth. My mum was sitting in the waiting area with me, and we both heard screaming. I said, well, it can't be. So my dentist was called Dr. Cuthbertson. The one my little sister was seeing was called Dr. Leishman. He was horrible. Mum basically kicked the door in, shouted at Dr. Leishman, and took my little sister out. Then rescheduled. I want my child to see Dr. Cuthbertson. Next available appointment. Half an hour? Yeah. So we just sat in the waiting area until Dr. Cuthbertson became free. He was dealing with a granny. Our dentures weren't fitting right.
I really act like a child. You can't look at blood without passing out.
Hey,
so.
I don't like blood, but
I can look at blood. It's just
well,
the needle. The needle
supposed
hurts.
to stay inside.
It's supposed to stay inside.
To treat localized pain, and in 1853, his research led him to develop the first all-glass syringe with fine bone needle that allowed doctors to estimate a dosage based on the amount of liquid observed through the glass, thus allowing for smaller measured doses to be administered.
That's kind of a big deal.
The first patient to benefit from his invention was an 80-year-old woman who suffered from a form of neuralgia, which he successfully treated by injecting her area of discomfort with morphia. Wood also campaigned for legislation in pharmacy, the registration of births and marriages, and sanitary reform. In the 1980s, Scotland also developed the world's first clinically used whole-body MRI scanner.
No, you did not.
Designed and built in the late 1970s by
Aberdeen.
physicists and technical staff in the Medical Physics Department of the University of Aberdeen. It was used in 1980 for the first ever diagnostic MRI body scan. The team was led by the late Professor James Hutchison, who helped patent a game-changing technique known as spin warp imaging, which was adopted throughout the world and is still used today in hundreds of thousands of MRI machines globally.
That's cool.
The technology behind MRI was developed in the 1970s by a small number of teams worldwide, including those at Aberdeen and Nottingham universities.
Okay, cool.
But it was Professor Hutchison who built the first full-body scanner,
Well, bless
along
you.
with a team that included Dr. William Edelstein, and developed spin warp, which dramatically improved the images, making them of diagnostic quality.
There
Spin
you have
warp
it.
is now still used in every single MRI scanner in the world today.
That is nothing but a giant fucking magnet that spins and creates the imaging. I have had six MRIs in my life. I have lost track of how many x-rays I've had. And don't even ask me, because I'll probably say north of 100. I shit you not. I've had over 100, I believe, x-rays. I can't count on my two hands how many MRIs I've had. I've had 2 whole body to see the state of all of this. 1 for the head, well, my jaw. And 3 on my lower back and hips. They do them at the same time. I've had 2 DEXA scans, which checks the bone density. DEXAs are great. You sit on a couch instead of going into that fucking thing. It won't be ferrous, will it? For the magnet to actually deal, it has to be ferrous metals in there. Parts of Eastern Europe have those kind of very, very small amounts, but they're still ferrous, which means they're magnetically active. They can't go in. People who have got bullets still stuck in their body because they can't get removed, can't get MRIs, because they would get ripped out the body. That's actually happened. Someone had a penile implant and it ripped it out. There was lots of blood. I read that story fucking years ago. So someone with a penile implant made of ferrous metals, and it literally ripped at the body. There is a lot of blood vessels in that area. The poor dude, he must have been screaming his head off. I didn't know they were allowed to do ferrous. Obviously these things exist, but yeah. They needed to do an MRI because he was in a car crash. And I can't remember if he said to the staff or not, but yeah, the thing got ripped out of him. Ouch. Lots of blood. Grim.
Professor Hutchison attended Blair Gowrie High School before completing a PhD at the University of...
Blair Gowrie is just up the road from my home city of Perth. Blair Gowrie's lovely. It's got a really good coffee shop. Like a proper old-timey limey cafe. Damn good scones. Oh, thank you, CJ. I'm here to educate and amuse. Plus, you might get to see me rant. Well, you did get to see me rant with,
Lives that is saved? How many lives that is
Yep,
saved?
right?
Oh my lord. I mean, I'm totally terrified of them myself because of severe claustrophobia, but I don't know who invented the open MRI machine, but thank you. It helps. But
I'm
that's
sure they
just,
still use the same technology though.
oh, but it's just such incredible things. Like, come on, penicillin, the needle, and then this now. We're like talking serious life-saving stuff.
Yes, very high
That makes me
stuff.
anxious just looking at it.
Professor Hutchison attended Blair Gowrie High School before completing a PhD at the University of St Andrews.
Okay.
Having developed an expertise in magnetic resonance, he was appointed to the University of Aberdeen's medical physics team in the 1960s by
Wow.
Professor John Mallard. When we need cash, we all use an ATM machine.
No.
ATM stands for Automatic Teller Machine and can be found at more than 3 million public locations all over the world today.
Wow.
What's less known is that ATMs or cash machines were invented by Paisley-born development
Really?
engineer James Goodfellow in 1966, whilst he was
Wow.
working for a London-based engineering company.
Incredible.
Born in 1937, Goodfellow, a former St Mirren's Academy pupil, was tasked with developing an automatic cash dispenser in 1965. His system accepted a machine-readable encrypted card with a numerical PIN keypad, and his invention was patented on May 2nd, 1966.
What language is that in?
The following year, the world's first ATM was installed in Enfield, North London,
That's
although the
it?
big rollout of these machines didn't happen until the mid-1980s. A Fellow of the Institution of Electrical Engineers, Goodfellow was inducted into the Scottish Engineering Hall of Fame
As he should
in
be.
2016.
Well, that was
But his
recent.
invention never made him rich, even if the bankers who benefited from it continue to make millions
I'm
in
not
bonuses
surprised.
annually. Goodfellow is
figure.
said to have made just $15 around £10 from the patent.
What?
No. Hold on, he was about to say the rest of it. Hang on, hold on.
Goodfellow is said to have made just $15 around £10 from the patent.
That's it.
Ouch.
Yeah, wait,
major-
what? Why?
That,
What the actual hell?
that's
Robbed.
a ripoff. Ripoff. I mean,
I've actually only used an ATM like 3 times in my life, if that.
really?
You know I have.
I still go to deposit
Yeah, because
money
you
sometimes.
do it for me. That's why I don't use it. She does it for me.
But I do remember back in the 80s when it just
Was the
went.
genie?
I have an addendum for this one. The actual ATMs, once they were adopted essentially, they were made in Dundee, which is the next major city just north of Perth. So they were actually built in the city of Dundee, and they got shipped out worldwide. That fact that doesn't exist anymore. That company closed down, unfortunately. I don't know where they're made now. That was one of the first ones that got built. Was built in Dundee. Yeah. It was NCR in Dundee as well. Did they? So the main one was in Dundee for like UK and Europe. Mental. And I'll say again, Dundee's a bit chilly, but it's really it's a fascinating place. So many things you can do and see in Dundee. If you ever get a chance to come over to Scotland, anyone, or up to Scotland if you're English, go to Dundee. It's great. It's got a really good chippy. I like chicken supper. Christ, that'll be over a tenner now. Fuck. Fish suppers are expensive as well, but the ones in Dundee and a couple here in Glasgow are really quite worth it. It's been ages since I've had a chippy. Fuck.
Crazy. Yeah,
It's just
with
called
Genie.
the genie.
Yep.
My cousin used it. I didn't know anybody else. My sister eventually.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the only people I knew. I'm like, they would just put this card in this. I was a little kid, right? Into this thing, and they get money, and I'm like,
This is
I want
cool.
money. Give me some of this. How do I get one of those plastic things to put in there and get some cash?
Right, exactly.
Well, now we know. Poor guy got ripped off.
Around £10 from the patent.
Unfair.
Ouch. A major breakthrough in the detection of crime, forensic fingerprinting, is another Scottish discovery.
Shut the front door.
A fingerprint is an impression left by the friction ridges of a human finger and are almost unique to each individual.
Debbie doesn't have any.
I burned them off.
Don't say that.
Just kidding.
No, she doesn't have any.
They're there.
Not really.
They're just
No, because she's a hairstylist,
No.
right? And so for so many years, she's like had her hands in water, then hair dryer, chemicals and stuff. So like literally, her fingerprints are like not really.
they don't show up so well.
Yeah, I know. I've taken her fingerprints. This sounds so weird.
Right?
Like,
Rejoice, comrades. Time sock in the chat. Yeah, it's had its industrial base ripped out from it. It sucks. Glasgow got really Glasgow, Dundee, parts of it. Well, the oil and gas sector still exists, but other sort of industry got ripped out. The heart of this country in so many different cities and areas. Yeah, the Dundee's it used to be a shadow of its former self, but now it's actually getting built back up. It's great. Yeah, you'll love to see it. Don't get me wrong, there's still parts of Dundee that are deprived, just like Glasgow, just like parts of Edinburgh, just like nearly every place in Scotland and England and Wales and Northern Ireland. Good evening, Time Sock. How are you? Carry on, ladies.
how do you know that?
Yeah, how do we know that?
Long story. It's now what you think. Or maybe it is. This is fascinating. Good lord, this is some like serious,
I
like,
know.
big stuff. This isn't just like little things.
Yeah. It's not like I invented a screwdriver.
I mean, that'd be
No,
cool if you
not
did, though.
nothing against
That's
the person
like,
that
but
invented
that's
a
actually a really
screwdriver.
big a deal. I
That
think the
is cool.
cavemen invented that, didn't they?
Print is an impression left by the friction ridges of a human finger and are almost unique to each individual. In fact, the chance of two individuals having the same fingerprints is estimated to be about 1 in 64 billion.
But it can happen?
The recovery
I know,
of
he said
partial
almost.
fingerprints from a crime scene is, therefore, an extremely important method in forensic science of
Yeah, it's
identifying
huge.
criminals. Henry Faulds was born in Beath, Ayrshire, on June 1st, 1843.
Wow.
Age 13, Faulds was forced to leave school and start work as a clerk in Glasgow to help support his family.
I'm really interested in how this story comes
At the
about.
age of 21, he decided to enroll at the Facility of Arts at Glasgow University, where he studied mathematics, logic, and the classics.
Okay.
He later studied medicine at Anderson's College and graduated with a physician's license.
Anderson's? You know what's coming next. It's now Strathclyde, my university. It became a university in 1964. It's one of the youngest universities in the UK. So that was the previous institute. That's why the library for the University of Strathclyde is called the Andersonian. That place is a fucking maze. But yes, it's now called Strathclyde and it's one of the premier universities. Omaha. Huh.
Following graduation, Faulds became a medical missionary for the Church of Scotland and was sent to British-controlled India in 1871,
Okay.
where he worked for 2 years at a hospital for the poor in Darjeeling. In 1873, he was appointed to establish a medical mission in Japan. It was while working in a hospital in Tokyo that Faulds, whilst accompanying an American archaeologist to a dig, noticed the delicate fingerprint impressions left by craftsmen in ancient clay fragments.
Okay.
Examining his own fingertips and those of friends, he became convinced that the pattern of ridges was unique to each individual.
Huh.
On returning to Britain in 1886, Faulds offered his discovery to the Metropolitan Police, who dismissed it.
What?
It was not until 1901 that Scotland Yard started to fingerprint suspects
That
as a
much
means
later.
of identifying criminals. Faulds,
Wow.
who had gone on to become a police surgeon, first in London and then in Stoke-on-Trent, died in March 1930, aged 86,
Wow.
bitter at the lack of recognition he had received for his work.
Wow.
Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell is perhaps best known for being responsible for the classical theory of electromagnetic radiation, where he demonstrated that electric and magnetic fields travel through space as waves moving at the speed of light. Born in Edinburgh on June 18, 1831, Clerk Maxwell helped usher in the era of modern physics, laying the foundation for such fields as special relativity and quantum mechanics. But what's less known about him is that he also invented colour photographs. He discovered that a sum of any three lights could reproduce any perceivable colour, allowing colour photographs to be produced
blue,
with a
green?
set of just 3 coloured filters.
Red, blue, green.
During an 1861 Royal Institution lecture on colour theory, Clerk Maxwell presented the world's first demonstration of colour photography by this principle of three-colour analysis and synthesis. He died in Cambridge, England on November 1879,
Well, thank you,
aged
sir.
just 48, and was buried in the
Wow,
kirkyard
yeah.
at Parton in Kirkcudbrightshire.
Oh, go back on, stupid slipper. It might be the fact that I'm from the East Coast and pronounce it differently. It's Kirkcudbrightshire. That's how I pronounce it, which is down south from here. It's down nearer to the English border. But I've always pronounced it Kirkcudbrightshire. Yeah.
Very young.
Many people credit the invention of the toilet to one Thomas Crapper, an
No,
English plumber and
He
businessman.
did not. We watched the whole video.
He founded Thomas Crapper.
We did a whole video on the history of toilets here on this channel because
Yes.
she wanted to.
I did. It was
awesome. It was
was a
hilarious.
great
Go
video.
back and find that. It is so ridiculously
is
funny.
good.
But Thomas Crapper did not invent it. He did something, but he had a hand in it. Never mind.
He was on a roll.
Toilet to one Thomas
Yeah,
Crapper,
it was a
an English
movement.
plumber and businessman. He founded Thomas Crapper & Co. in London, a plumbing equipment company. Whilst Crapper did make many improvements to the toilet, including an improved tank filling mechanism, the
Yes.
ball cock and
Arc.
the U-bend, he did not invent the flushing toilet. That
Let's take a moment to thank whoever did. I mean, let's thank Thomas Crapper for inventing the ball cock. We all use a ball cock.
We do.
Not have to be confused with a ball gag.
Don't confuse them.
But we all use a
please.
ball cock. Did you know you use a ball cock? Sorry, I'm 5.
honour went to Scott Alexander Cumming, who, in 1775, 61 years before Thomas's birth,
What?
was granted the first patent for the world's first flushing toilet.
Oh, okay.
Cumming's greatest innovation was the S-shaped pipe below the bowl that used water to create a seal preventing nasty odours from entering back
God
through
bless
the
you,
toilet.
sir.
Yes.
Born in Edinburgh in 1731, Cumming was actually a watchmaker by trade. He was also a mathematician and mechanic.
Dude,
In
those
the
are super
1750s,
smart.
he was employed by Archibald Campbell, 3rd Duke of Argyll, at Inverary as an organ builder as well as a clockmaker.
Okay, you know
By
what?
17
This is why I like my Ancestry. Ancestry's stupid. Ancestry.com. It keeps changing every year. It updates. It says it's because it gets better. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But like I had a lot of Scottish ancestry. Now I have like little to none. I still have some, okay. Not nearly as much, because I'm not as smart as these people. It's like
Now
no.
you want it.
I have no connection.
I mean, think about the
They're so
fingerprint guy.
smart. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
They're all so smart.
stopped school at 13, then goes on to college, and he's a doctor, then he's a
Cop.
mathematician, then he
Then
goes
eventually
into
cop.
doctor, and then
I know. Want to live the
Wow.
world. This is all very impressive, and I'm just feeling really dumb right now.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel
Omaha.
smart learning this.
I can edit stuff on Premiere Pro and Adobe.
You
what
can,
do.
I can't.
I can do that.
I definitely can't do that.
In 1963, Cumming had acquired premises for his watch and clockmaking business in London's
so
Bond
cool.
Street,
And then he ends up in
and was
toilets.
appointed a member of the commission set up in that year to adjudicate on John Harrison's Timekeeper for discovering the longitude at sea. Cumming made a barometrical clock for King George III,
Wow.
who paid him an annual retainer for its maintenance.
It's kind of a big deal.
Other barometrical clocks created by him are at the Science Museum in London
Show me
and
one.
on the Isle of Bute.
Hmm.
With his brother, Cumming was involved in the development of the Pentonville district of London,
Okay.
made famous by the prison, where there is a Cumming Street running north from Pentonville Road named in his honour.
That's pretty cool.
Incidentally, the slang word crap did not derive from Thomas Crapper's surname as many people think.
You would think
It has its origins in medieval English. Scott's also invented a host of other world-changing devices, including pneumatic tyres, which has made car travel way more comfortable than it would otherwise have been.
What's pneumatic tires?
I don't know, but
Okay.
wow.
I don't know what that means.
Veterinary surgeon John Boyd Dunlop was born in Dreghorn, now North Ayrshire, in 1840, but spent most of his career in Ireland. He invented the first practical pneumatic tyres for his son's tricycle and developed them for use in cycle racing, and soon had them made commercially in Scotland. Dunlop trained to be a veterinary surgeon at the Royal Dick School of Veterinary Studies, University of Edinburgh, before moving to Ireland, where he died in Dublin in 1921. Although the Dunlop Pneumatic Tyre Company he later set up with Dublin
Well, I
financier
didn't catch that.
William Harvey de Crowes no longer exists as a corporate entity, The Dunlop name lives on in a
Yeah.
number of Dunlop
Huge.
branded products,
Yeah.
including
Huge
automotive, aerospatial, industrial, and sporting
Wow.
products around the world.
Would never have known.
Now, if you have tyres on your vehicle making car travel and cycling way more comfortable, you also need a smooth road to drive along.
What, even a road?
Just as well then that another Scot, John Loudon Macadam, had already invented the process of macadamization for building roads with a smooth, hard surface.
Really?
Roads that were durable and less muddy
macadam.
than the soil-based tracks that preceded them.
Yeah, those weren't so great.
No.
Born on September 23rd, 1756, in Ayr, on Scotland's west coast, Macadam was the youngest of 10 children. He moved to Carstfern in Dumfriesshire,
It's kinda hot.
and still a child to live with his grandparents
You think?
before moving to
Yeah.
New York in 1770,
Oh,
where he
okay.
worked as a merchant and prize agent during the American Revolution, making his fortune working at his uncle William Macadam's counting house. He returned to Scotland in 1783, and using his fortune bought an estate in Ayrshire, as well as operating the nearby Kimes Colliery.
Huh.
The colliery supplied coal to the British Tar Company.
So let me guess.
This
asphalt?
business was the only connection of Macadam with tar. Macadam became a trustee of the Ayrshire Turnpike in 1783 and became increasingly involved with day-to-day road construction over the next 10 years. In 1802 he moved to Bristol, England,
Bristol.
and he became general surveyor for the Bristol Corporation
the
in
bridge.
1804. Macadam had also been appointed surveyor to the Bristol Turnpike Trust in 1816, where he decided to remake the roads under his care with crushed stone bound with gravel on a firm base of large
Smart
stones.
man.
This
Wow.
included a camber, making the road slightly convex, which ensured rainwater rapidly drained off the road rather than penetrate and damage the road's
Super smart man.
foundations.
Yep.
This construction method, the greatest advance in road construction since Roman
Trying
times,
that road.
became known as
Nope.
macadamization. Modern road construction still reflects Macadam's influence today. Macadam died in Moffat, Dumfriesshire in 1836,
Oh, Moffat.
while returning to his home in Hoddesdon, Hertfordshire, from his annual summer visit to Scotland. He is buried in the old Moffat churchyard, where his gravestone can still be seen.
Oh, well.
Awesome.
Scotland has never stopped being a country of innovation, even if Scotland itself is unable to invest its own wealth in its own industries to enable it to reach its true potential. With its budgets controlled from London, there can be little doubt that Scotland is effectively being held back from reaching its full potential. This is no more so than in Scotland's hugely successful space industry, which is leading Europe's space sector,
Really?
yet receives just 15% of the UK Space Agency's budget,
I've never knew this.
85% of which goes to England.
Huh.
Nevertheless, this amazing country is still at the forefront of many advances, including its impressive space sector, which has gone on to lead Europe in just 19 years.
Smarty pants is over there, huh?
Very smart in Scotland.
I feel stupid. I feel so stupid right now. Yeah, no, that's really cool. That's like I said, that is some like life-altering, life-saving stuff. I know there's a lot more. We should have said that at the beginning. We always try to remind people that we know this is not the whole list.
Yes.
Drop in the comments some other cool Scottish inventions that weren't covered here.
Mhm.
All of that was just.
It's incredible. I mean, it takes such intelligence to invent those things.
It's just some of these people that are like, it was interesting how like they come from like
Oh, crap. Oh, fucking. Yeah. Go away. Perthshire, the one on the video was Ayrshire, so just south of Glasgow. So I live in Glasgow, which is the west coast. I don't sound like I'm from Glasgow. I'm from Perth, which is the northeast. So it's 63 miles northeast of where I currently live, up in that direction. So this is a classic Perthshire accent. There's people who have thicker accents than me. Like my uncle has a thicker accent, a thicker Perthshire accent than I do. I'm a bit split because I've lived here longer. Plus my dad was a Glaswegian. Yeah, so I'm Perth, essentially. Was born and brought up there. But I live in Glasgow. I've lived here longer than I did up in Perth. Macadamised Rose, John Loudon Macadam. A pedal bicycle, a tribute to Kirkpatrick Macmillan and Thomas McCall. The pneumatic tyre, just saw that one. The overhead valve engine by David Dunbar Buick. And yes, that Buick. The Falkirk wheel. Patent slip for docking vessels. The Drummond light. Track rail transposer. Network rail, right. Excuse me. Condensing steam engine, James Watt. There's actually, you can see one, it's down in Birmingham. A thermodynamic cycle by William John McCormick Rankin. Coal-gas lighting, so that's lighting for the streets. Stirling heat engine, Reverend Robert Stirling. Carbon brushes for dynamos. The Clerk's cycle gas engine by Sir Dougald Clark. And the Pelmis wave energy converter, the Red Sea Snake wave, so it's a tidal turbine. Richard Gem, 1998. Europe's first passenger steamboat by Henry Bell. The principle of field intelligence. Okay, heavy industry innovations. Coal mining extraction in the sea on an artificial island by Sir George Bruce of Carnock. Cast steel from wrought iron. Fucking hell. Wrought iron sash bars for glass houses. So the glass house, how to describe it? Basically, the best example I can give you in Glasgow would be the Kibble Palace, which is in the Botanic Gardens on Great Western Road. Hot blast oven, steam hammer, wire rope, steam engine improvements by William McNaught, the Fairley, a narrow gauge double bogie rail engine, Robert Francis Fairley. Fucking hell. Joint development of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. He was the first to patent, not the first to actually invent Marconi, or Elisha Gray if you wish. Print stereotyping. The Waverley pen nib innovations by Duncan Cameron. The popular Waverley was unique in design with a narrow waist and upturned tip designed to make the ink flow more smoothly onto paper. Light signalling between ships. That. The teleprinter. Ding 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 ding. For, mostly used for the stock market. Radar. I kid you not. Radar. The automated teller machine and personal identification number. James Goodfellow, we just saw that. The first edition of Encyclopedia Britannica. First English textbooks on surgery. First modern pharmacopedia by William Cullen. The book became Europe's principal text on the classification and treatment of disease. His ideas survive in the terms nervous energy and neuroses, a word that Cullen coined. The educational foundation of ophthalmology. Scottish National Portrait Gallery, designed by Sir Robert Rowand Anderson. The world's first purpose-built portrait gallery. Scientific Innovations, Logarithms by John Napier. Modern Economics by Adam Smith. US Wealth of Nations. Modern Sociology, Adam Ferguson, the father of modern sociology with his work. An essay on the history of civil society. Hypnotism, James Braid. Tropical medicine, Sir Patrick Manson. Uniformitarianism, James Hutton, a fundamental principle of geology. The feature of geologic time takes millions of years. Yeah. Electromagnetism, we just saw that. The discovery of the composition of Saturn's rings by the same person, James Clerk Maxwell. Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution by James Clerk Maxwell, the basis of the kinetic theory of gases, that speeds of molecules in a gas will change at different temperatures. The original theory, first hypothesized by Maxwell and confirmed later in conjunction with Ludwig Boltzmann, popularizing the decimal point, in John Napier. The Gregorian telescope, James Gregory. The discovery of Proxima Centauri, the closest known star to the Sun, by Robert Innes. One of the earliest measurements of distance to the Alpha Centauri star system, the closest such system outside of the solar system, by Thomas Henderson. The discovery of Centaurus A, a well-known star-plus galaxy in the constellation of Centaurus, by James Dunlop. The discovery of the Horsehead Nebula. The world's first commercial oil refinery and a process of extracting paraffin from coal, laying the foundations for the modern oil industry. Excuse me. Identifying the nucleus in living cells, Robert Brown. An early form of the incandescent light bulb, James Bowman Lindsay. Colloid chemistry, bloody hell. Devising the diagrammatic system of representing chemical bonds, criminal fingerprinting. Joint rolling noble gases, Scotsman Sir William Ramsay alongside Englishman John William Strutt. The cloud chamber recording of atoms, Charles Thomas Rees Wilson. The discovery of the wave of translation, statistical graphs, William Playfair. Okay. The first isolation of methylated sugars, trimethyl and tetramethyl glucose, James Irvine. Oh my god, the seismometer, Metaflex fabric innovations thereof, University of St Andrews. Tractor beam innovations thereof, St Andrews University, the world's first to succeed in creating a functioning tractor beam that pulls objects on a microscopic level. Macaulayite, Dr. Jeff Wilson of the Macaulay Institute. Aussie rules, holy fuck. The establishment of the Essendon Football Club by the McCracken family from Ayrshire. Several modern athletics, shot put, hammer throw, are all derived from the Highland Games, which we've been doing forever. You're not that important. The deep fried Mars bar. Curling. Golf. I shit you know, we invented golf. Shinty. Scottish version of Lurkerfulls. If you ever want to be astounded and stuff, watch a game of Shinty, or you can watch the crossover one, which is Shinty, the Scottish version, and Hurling, which is Irish. They do one every year. It is funny. The world's first robot Olympics, which took place here in 1990. Oh. Pioneering the use of surgical anaesthesia with chloroform. Firstly in 1842 by Englishman Robert Mortimer Glover, then extended for use on humans by Sir James Young Simpson, up here in Edinburgh. Well, I'm Glasgow, but up here in Edinburgh. The hypodermic syringe, we just saw that. Independent discovery of inoculation for smallpox. The discovery of hypnotism. Thanks, James Braid. General anaesthetic. Pioneered by Scotsman James Young Simpson and Englishman John Snow. Identifying the causes of brucellosis by Sir David Bruce. The discovery of the vaccine for typhoid by Sir William B. Leishman. Electrocardiograph. That's an ECG, which basically looks at the heart. The discovery of Staphylococcus, which is a bacterium. Penicillin, we just saw that. Pioneering X-ray cinematography. John McIntyre, thank you. Establishment of standardised ophthalmology, Sir Stuart Duke Elder. First hospital radiation therapy unit, John McIntyre, to assist in the diagnosis and treatment of injuries and illness at Glasgow Royal Infirmary, which is just down the road. The Haldane effect, a property of haemoglobin, first described by John Scott Haldane. First decompression chambers to calculate the safe return of deep-sea divers to surface atmospheric pressure. So there's more pressure the further down you go into the ocean. Oxygen therapy. Transplant rejection. Professor Thomas Gibson, 1940s, the first medical doctor to understand the relationship between donor graft tissue and host tissue rejection and tissue transplantation by his work on aviation burn victims during the Second World War. Discovering the effective tuberculosis treatment, Sir John Crofton. Developing first beta blocker drugs, so for heart issues. Revolutionised the medical management of angina, which is a narrowing of the blood vessels going into the heart, and is considered to be one of the most important contributions to clinical medicine and pharmacology in the 20th century. In 1988, Black was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine. Developing modern asthma therapy based on bronchodilation, salbutamol, which Super Hubby is on, and anti-inflammatory steroids, beclomethasone, which Super Hubby is also on. Great. Are you, Davinia? Yeah. So the Glasgow Coma Scale. So if you ever hear it, it was literally invented here. That's why it's called the Glasgow Coma Scale. The Glasgow Outcome Scale, Brian J. Jennett and Sir Michael Bond, diagnostic tool for patients with brain injuries such as cerebral traumas. Discovering and developing the anaesthetic drug propofol, Dr. John B. Glenn, a globally used surgical anaesthetic common in general surgery cases. In 2018, Dr. Glenn received the Lasker Award. Oh, glad you found that out. Surface Enhanced Raman Scattering, or SERS, Strathclyde University 2014. A laser nanoparticle test to detect meningitis or multiple pathogenic agents at the same time. Joint development of the television, John Logie Baird. The refrigerator, William Cullen. The vacuum flask, Sir James Dewar. First distiller to triple distill Irish whiskey, John Jameson, who was Scottish. The piano foot pedal by John Broadwood. The first automatic can filling machine, John West. Yes, that West. The waterproof Macintosh. It says child-friendly Macintosh, thanks. The kaleidoscope, Sir David Brister. Keeler's marmalade. Janet Keeler, the first recipe of rind-suspended marmalade or Dundee marmalade was produced in Dundee. Lucifer friction match, Sir Isaac Holden. The first commercially successful friction match was invented by John Walker, a chemist and pharmacist in Stockton-on-Tees, England. Holden improved it. The self-filling pen, the cotton reel thread, lime cordial. Thank you, Lachlan Rose. Bovril! I didn't know that one. Oh, well, Bars Iron Brew, the best invention ever. Bars Iron Brew, soft drink produced by Bars in Cumbernauld, 16 miles north of here, and exported all around the world. The drink is so widely popular in Scotland that it outsells both American Coca-Cola and Pepsi and ranks third most popular drink in the UK, with Coca-Cola and Pepsi taking the first two spots. Oh, for fuck's sake, we came up with a carronade. So the carronade is a short one that sits on the front and back of a ship. They're called chase armaments. They're short and stocky, and you use them to fire into whoever you're chasing or whoever you're running away from. So if you're chasing them, they're on the front of the ship, and they fire at the one you're trying to get to disable the ship, so you can board it and take it as prize. The Ferguson rifle, Patrick Ferguson in 1770. Lee Metford and Lee Enfield, say James Paris Lee, who was a Scot. The ghillie suit, pioneered by the Lovett Scouts. The snipers use them, and so the gamekeepers who work on the estates, they have a ghillie suit. The percussion cap, invented by Scottish Presbyterian clergyman Alexander Forsyth, because of the smoke and the loud noise previous rifles were making. He invented this so he could actually take out more like rabbits and small birds and like things of that nature. Miscellaneous inventions: the Boys Brigade, Grand Theft Auto. Developed by Scottish games developer DMA Designs, later known as Rockstar. Yes, GTA was invented by a Scottish company. Joint development in colour photography. Buick Motor Company. See, I told you, Buick Motor Company. Pinkerton National Detective Agency by Alan Pinkerton, who was Scottish and a bit of a wank. The establishment of a standardised botanical institute. Isaac Bailey Balfour. London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, founded by Sir Patrick Hansen. Yes. Oh, back here. I do not know what is on my watch later. Let us check. Because I'm feeling quite good. I can carry on for a bit. How long have I been going for? 2.5 hours. Not bad. Come on. Ooh. Oh, that's an hour long. We'll see how I'm feeling. political custard, shall we?
It's another episode of Farage's Britain, where we give examples of racist bigots who, thanks to Farage, Reform and the right-wing press, feel emboldened to be abusive to anyone who isn't white.
With current immigrants, that's what I believe. Here's my girlfriend.
I mean, you couldn't
current immigrants
dig yourself into a bigger hole.
Here, a wanker on a train makes vocal his own prejudices, but also has a totally skewed interpretation of Britain's colonial past. He not only makes a complete tit out of himself, but totally embarrasses his girlfriend, who possibly, after this episode, will ditch him.
Claiming what?
Claiming what?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. You're in England. You're in England. You're claiming something.
Wait a minute.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be in England if you weren't claiming.
Wait a minute.
If you weren't claiming, you'd be back in wherever you are.
You want the truth. You want the truth. You
Go
want
on,
facts.
go on. I'm recording anyway. Tell me the truth. How you belong here?
I get taxed.
This guy belongs in
Number
England.
one, I get taxed.
I'm
Like
recording.
you.
He gets taxed. He gets taxed.
Wait a minute. I pay £1,000 a year extra to the NHS without using it because I'm young and healthy.
Gives to the NHS. Yeah, you're special, bro.
So all of you are seeing is completely like imaginative.
English people never done anything.
I think someone's going to get dumped. Does everyone agree with me? What an absolute wank. You're a wanker. Christ's sake.
Apart from conquered the world and then gave it back to you. We conquered India.
Gave it back to us?
We conquered India. We didn't want it. We gave it back to you. Did we not? Tell me. Did we give India back?
After draining it of its wealth, it was one of the richest nations in the world before we got our hands on it. We literally drained that subcontinent. We robbed all its wealth. We were horrible colonial masters to them. The Bengal famine. Pick up a history book. Christ's sake. These people.
To India.
No, you didn't give India back.
India belonged to England and we gave it back. We didn't want it. A lot of countries like that. Sorry about your fucking sovereignty or whatever it is you are. Record me because I'm recording you.
Yeah, but I haven't said anything incriminating me. You
Me
have.
neither. What have I said incriminating? Oh, you getting me nicked?
I'm not going to get you nicked.
Get me nicked. What have I said that's incriminating? Why are you recording me if I'm not...
Because I don't want you to hit me.
I'm not going to hit you. I've got a girl there that loves to get hit. She ain't getting hit right now.
What the fuck did you just say, you dickhead?
It was a joke.
You absolute prank.
I know. What a pranker.
Dickhead.
Take me to court.
A pranker, yeah.
What, are you a pranker?
Holy fuck!
Click here for another episode of Farage's Britain.
What?
An alternative to Zionism, one that has been forgotten. Now, Israel and its champions would argue that you should essentially equate Zionism with the Jewish experience, that Zionism is the legitimate national aspiration of the Jewish people. And in fact, there's been quite an aggressive attempt to exclude Jewish people who dissent from that, and often in quite gruesome ways. I mean, basically trying to purge anti-Zionist Jews from the very kind of inclusion or notion of being Jewish. You see this happen all the time. But there is a different tradition. And this tradition, not least, was represented in the Bund, who were Jewish socialists who, at the turn of the 20th century and beyond, had mass support and were very much rejected Zionism. And they've been intentionally forgotten. They suffered horrors beyond belief, as you would expect. But this tradition now is one which could potentially be reclaimed. And this is something that we're going to talk about today, because I'm really delighted to be joined by Molly Crabapple, who's written an absolutely exceptional book, which you should all read, called Here Where We Live Is Our Country, The Story of the Jewish Bund. Hello, lovely to see you.
Hey, it's so awesome to see you, Owen. How are you?
Very good. Let's start with the Bund. Who are we talking about? Who are they?
The Bund were secular, socialist, defiantly Jewish, and committedly anti-Zionist revolutionaries who got their start in 1897 in the Tsarist Empire, which was probably the lousiest place on earth at that time to be Jewish. These were young Marxists who were facing both the oppressive reality of living as subjects of an autocracy, but also their specific experience as a racialized group. In the Tsarist Empire, there was a whole body of laws, right, that were meant to constrict Jews' lives, meant to keep them out of university, force them to serve army terms of 25 years, limit the places where they could live, the industries in which they could work. And also, as always happens when a government targets any minority, this gave license to freelance bigotry, racism, and violence. And so the Bund was a party that was meant to confront all of this, to fight both for democratic socialism in the Tsarist Empire, for revolution of everyone, but also for the specific liberation of Jews, for the right of Jews in Eastern Europe to live beautiful, flourishing lives, not just be tolerated like you tolerate a Bunyan, but to have their art, their culture, their language, Yiddish, the language of the Jewish working class.
How did you become interested in the Bund?
It was really through my great-grandfather. And it might seem a little bit strange, right, to be so interested in your great-grandfather, because it's a long time ago, right? He died maybe 8 years before I was born. But I grew up obsessed with him. And the reason was because he was an artist. And he taught my mother how to paint, and my mother taught me how to paint. And so I always viewed my whole ability to be an artist as this gift from him. And I grew up surrounded by his paintings, by his sculptures, by the photos of him hanging from a chin-up bar by his feet when he was in his 80s, and by the stories about him. And especially, I was always intrigued by this whole body of paintings that he did, that he called memory paintings. These were paintings of the small town in the Tsarist Empire that he left in 1904. And they showed every aspect of life, from, the rabbi reading the Torah on Yom Kippur, to himself as a little bad kid drawing mean pictures of his rabbi in religious school. And there was one painting that enchanted me. It was a young woman. She had a long skirt. Her hair was an updo. And she was on a miserable dirt road throwing a rock through a window. And her boyfriend was next to her, and he was offering her more rocks because, chivalry. And it was titled Itka the Bundes, Breaking Windows. And it was so different from my conception of what a working class young Jewish woman would have been doing in the Tsarist Empire at the dawn of the 20th century, that I thought the secret for why Itka was different had to lie in that mysterious word, Bundist. And that was the spark of what would become my obsession of the last 7 years.
Now, just to paint a picture of where things stood politically in this time, I mean, today, Zionism, as I've said, has often been portrayed as the one political movement of the Jewish people. That's how Israel and its cheerleaders will portray it, almost basically trying to equate the Jewish experience and Zionism. How small I mean, we're talking, obviously, things evolved in the early part of the 20th century, but just tell us, I mean, in terms of Jewish Europeans, not least Eastern Europe, how big a movement was Zionism, and how big was it compared to the likes of the Bund?
One of the great historical ironies is that the Bund and political Zionism were born in the same year, 1897. The Bund was born with a band of 13 young troublemakers in the attic of a safe house in Vilna, whereas political Zionism announced its debut on the ritzy stage of a casino in Switzerland, and it pretty immediately made its founder, Theodor Herzl, into an international superstar. But the movements were utterly and fundamentally opposed from the start. Whereas Zionism was always a bourgeois movement, it was always dependent on wealthy philanthropists in order to fund the settler colonial project in Palestine. The Bund was a working class movement that believed in revolution. And they opposed Zionism from the very, very start. At first, they viewed it as just sort of, the same way that you have billionaires now that will give like a scholarship or they'll give like a few $1,000s to a hospital to try to whitewash their crimes. They viewed Zionism the same way. They were like, this idea is so impractical and wretchedly silly that it just has to be some propaganda.
Oh God. I think I'm going to have to read out. I'm sorry. Right, I've managed to free up my hips, which is better, but doing that small amount of exercises went and done in my knees. I do apologise, comrades, especially my ones on YouTube. I can't read this out yet. I need 1,000 people. I am nowhere near that at all. But I can read out on Twitch. Let's see who's going, shall we? I will come back to this one tomorrow. We will start with this one. Let us see who is going on Twitch, shall we? Is Red Rust bouldering, do we think? Oh, Xerxes is going. Give me a minute. Open up. Mm. Let's see what Raptor's up to, shall we? Raptor! Oh, he's only been gone for... Oh, dear. Okay. Let's go and say hi to Raptor, shall we?
A club, which is very red flag, guys. But we met at a club. Then I was in LA. I came back.
Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine. And say thank you, Scotland. I will catch you all later today. I'm going out to the laundrette. I have an entire rucksack filled with laundry. So I'm going down to the West End. And he is going to buy me a cocktail while the clothes are getting cleaned.
I think that was a date, honestly. I'm gonna be 100 with you, Chad. I don't think this was a date. I think he's making shit up. I think he is making shit up. Sad shit? That's not sad shit. That's not sad shit. What are you talking about? Should make him feel bad? Absolutely. I will be surprised. Fair. Mad Cat.